Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my first book haul of the year. I have accumulated some books over the past, 4 months. I'm not including May's yet because we're only like halfway through the month and my birthday is at the end of the month, so I'm probably going to be getting more books. So I'm going to make a whole other video with just May because I probably have a lot of books just for May because of my birthday month. So I'm hoping I have all of them here. I tried to remember. I might be missing some, but hopefully these are most of them, which I think they are. They're in no particular order. They're just all here, so I'm just gonna grab them and talk about them. I might not know too much about some of them because they're either new to me or I've just heard good things about them and want to check it out. But I just don't know too much about it and I want to keep it that way going into it. So I'm just gonna grab and start talking. Oh, and excuse my hair, it's a mess. It's still drying, it's all wet. It's still drying, so it's a mess. So excuse that, it's probably frizzy. Anyway, first off is a graphic novel. I got Skyward Volume 1. I don't know too much about this going into it. I have already read this. I've read some of these on here, so I know a little bit about those I read. But this one basically takes place in this world where there's this thing called G-Day, where it's there's no gravity anymore. Yeah, they're just living in this world where gravity doesn't exist anymore due to something I kind of forgot. Or someone predicted that was gonna happen. I don't remember. But yeah, the art style was pretty cool. I just like it. And so you're tied, I guess, sort of, in a way, so you don't float off into the atmosphere, into space and everything, because there's no gravity to hold you down. So you could. So I guess that's why they're always running on buildings or stuff like that, and you can see these little balloon thingies, and they're roped, stuff like that. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Even with the water, you can see the water coming out in bubbles because there's no gravity. So that's pretty cool. So I read that and it was really interesting. I want to get volume 2 and continue with it because I really enjoyed it. This book is Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. This is the second book to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, right? Is that the title? Yeah, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I thought I messed up the title, but I loved the first one. Everyone's been loving the first one. I don't think I've heard a single bad thing about it. There might have been, I don't know. But it was just so good. It's just what I was looking for. I am kind of picky. That's my genre. It's murder mystery, kind of all that kind of stuff. But I'm also too pretty picky when it comes to it because I kind of like a certain type or just certain aspects. I don't know. I'm pretty picky. So this was perfect. I loved it. This is the second book, so I'm not gonna spoil anything. But the first book, we follow the main character, Pip. That's her name. We follow the main character, Pip, and she's doing a project for her senior year, and she wants to do it on this old case in this town where this girl, Andy Bell, was murdered by her boyfriend, but Pip doesn't believe that the boyfriend did it. But it's also one of those they never actually found the body. She just kind of went missing, and then no one had ever seen her since, so they kind of was ruling it as murder. And then the boyfriend at first was he was innocent, but then he ended up kind of confessing because he got committed suicide and kind of confessing that he's the one that did it. But Pip, I think it was maybe 5 years later or so, Pip doesn't believe that he did it. Some stuff is not adding up, she just doesn't believe. She knew him kind of a little bit, and she just doesn't see him like a murderer. She can't believe that he did it. She doesn't believe it, so she's just trying to figure out what actually happened and everything. And especially in this small town where everyone has already justified what happened and already wrapped their minds around it, it's kind of hard for someone to go back and try to dig up everything and be trying to dig up the past when some people want it buried or to stay buried and stuff like that. So it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. And this is the second one following the aftermath of all that. and it's following Pip again, but like her friend's brother goes missing, and like I don't know, they're just like odd things about it, so she's gonna like try to look for him and everything, and there's so much more to it. I loved it. The ending made me cry. I was not expecting that because the other one was really good, but I don't think it really made me cry. But this one was just, I don't know, so people say that the first one, they still like the first one a little bit better than this one, but I do love the first one, don't get me wrong, but I think I like this one just a slightly bit more. I don't know, it just was so good. And there's a third one coming out pretty soon, I think at the end of this year, probably. Don't quote me on that, but I can't wait for it anymore. I just love this setting, these characters, this murder mystery aspect, everything. I need more. So the series that I want to read is The Poppy War. I'm hoping to get to these pretty soon. I want to maybe try to read The Poppy War because I heard that these are big on like the political aspects, political intrigue, and I have, from the fantasy books I have read, which are not a lot because I'm not a big fantasy reader, I have been really liking the political intrigue aspects of the books, along with like the romance are in there, but the fantasy parts I've been really liking the political intrigue. So I heard that this series is big with that, so I can't wait to get to these and see how I like them. I hope I enjoy them because I bought all 3 of them in hardcover, so I'm hoping I like them. But I did get a deal with them, so it's not like I bought them all regular price. I did get them for pretty cheap, so it's fine either way. The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. This one I've been hearing really good things about, and I've been wanting to get more into adult sci-fi, I guess you could say. And this one is sci-fi, adult. So yeah, I don't know too much about this. I don't know if it's this one or something, but like she's like doesn't speak or something. I don't know too much about it, honestly. Like it does kind of sound a little confusing, so hopefully I can get into it without having too much problems, but we'll see. But this cover is also really gorgeous, and I think the second or is already out or is coming out or is it there? I don't know, but this is a series and the other books are already like about to come out or so I really wanted to read this to continue with it. The next book is The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce. This one sounded really interesting, and I heard Meg, I think it was. I heard some good things about it. It's a Reese book club pick. But yeah, this sounds really good. I'm not too much into like, I don't know, like thrillers. With me, I am super picky. I'm not big on like the psychological thrillers. Like I have read some that were good, but I also read some that I didn't really like, so they're a little iffy with me. But this one right here is blurbed as a splendid gothic thriller. Now I love gothic stuff, so that also got me. But like just the way the story is about, I think it's set at this this hotel, but before it was a hotel, this building used to be an insane asylum, I think. So yeah, it was a former abandoned sanitarium and turned into a hotel. So it kind of has like the aspects of it kind of being like haunted in a way. But these people go here, and I think one of them goes missing, and the main character, I think we're following different point of views. That's what I heard. Could be wrong, but one of the main characters is like a cop or something, and so she's like, this person went missing and she's kind of like finding that suspicious, so she's trying to like find her and see what's going on with this place, and it could be haunted, so sounds really good. Next book I have is Crave by Tracy Wolff. This is the 3rd book in the Crave series, which if you have seen any of my other videos, I've talked about how I'm having mixed feelings about this series. So I don't know how I feel about this. And I thought there's gonna be 4 books, but I think there's gonna be like 5 and maybe more. I'm not sure, and I kind of may have spoiled myself, but I kind of read ahead, and what I was thinking, the direction I was going in, is still going in those books. So I don't know how I'm liking that. It's not like I didn't want it to go in that direction. It's fine. It's just like from the first to second, it was like a major like 180. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but like the characters in the second one were completely different characters than the ones that we met in the first ones. And it was like acting like, I don't know, it was like if there was any clues about all this stuff that was gonna happen to these characters in the first book, then that's fine. But there was nothing. And then now all of a sudden we get like the clues that we should have gotten in the first one and the second one, like they always have been there. It was just like a disconnect. And it felt totally weird. I just don't know how I liked it. And I'm just like, I don't know. So I'm gonna read this one. If I like it, I might continue. If not, I don't know, I might just stop. But we'll see. Next, can I focus? Focus. Thank you. Next, I have two books by the same author, so I'm just gonna show them together. And that is Tomi and Romina by Junji Ito. I have been loving Junji Ito stuff lately. He's a he's like a horror manga writer. And I've been getting more into mangas, but also too, like his are like horror, and they really are. And I just love it so much. So I have started reading Tomi. I have like about halfway through it, and I've been liking it. It's just because this is basically like a bind up of all the mangas that he wrote about Tomi. It kind of got a little like repetitive because it's like you reading the same, like the manga after manga, like each one. And sometimes I find like I should read some and then like take a break and then go back to it, because reading like this whole thing, because it's so thick, it's kind of like repetitive. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just like repetitive. And so I got halfway through it and I was taking a break, and so I just need to get back to it and finish it. But so far it is really good. Romina I just recently got, and I did start this one just to kind of like see what it was like kind of about, and it seems pretty interesting. It's like this planet comes out of like this black hole out of nowhere, and the scientist that like discovered it or whatever named it after his daughter Romina. And then like the planet starts getting closer and closer, and it's like eating all the other planets around Earth until like it's coming to Earth to like devour us and everything. And then everyone's like blaming it on the daughter that was named after, like that they named the planet after, thinking like it's her fault because we named it after you or whatever. I don't know, it's all weird. But yeah, so now they're trying to attack Romina, the daughter of the scientist, while this planet is coming to like come and devour them. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. I only got like a few pages in, and yeah, I can't wait to continue with these and finish them. Next, everything's falling. Next, I have Pride and Premeditation by Tirza Price. This one, I loved this one so much. I have a hair stuck. Okay, there we go. Again, this is like what I wanted. I love it so much. It is a Jane Austen murder mystery, so it's based off Pride and Prejudice, but with a murder twist, and I really love that. I love how, yes, it has like the same characters and kind of the same like plot line for some of the characters, but it didn't really follow the storyline exactly. It changed up stuff and everything, which I loved, because so you're not like reading the same exact story. It's just like inspired by Pride and Prejudice, but also to kind of like its own thing in a way. And I really did love this. There's gonna be more coming out, like kind of like a series, but not really following these characters, because the next one I believe is Sense and Sensibility, but like also to a murder mystery. I don't know how that's gonna go, but that sounds interesting. But I do wish that we got like kind of like a series with this, like a Pride and Premeditation series following the same characters, because the way it ended, it wasn't like Pride and Prejudice where like, oh yeah, okay, they end up and they get married and all that, life's perfect, whatever. No, at this, like, you know, it's still kind of like open-ended. Nothing was like, you know, like that, and so it has space for it to continue and everything, and I just really enjoyed that. Let's talk about some of my book of the month that I got. I have 3. I think I'm miscalculating that because there's, okay, I'm missing one, but whatever. The first one I have is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, and this one sounds pretty interesting. I have talked about this one, I believe, before. It kind of reminds me of, if anyone watches Bailey Sarian, I'm obsessed with Bailey Sarian. I love her videos. I love true crime too, and makeup, so perfect combination. But there's this one story about Aqua Tofana, which is funny because I have it as my screensaver. But yeah, Aqua Tofana, where like back, I think in like the Renaissance time period, sort of back in like Paris, there was this lady who had like a cosmetics line, but she like she had cosmetic line, but some of her stuff was just poison, like kind of like in disguise as cosmetics, so that way she can sell it to the people who wanted out of their abusive relationships or whatever, because back then there was no such thing as divorce and everything, and women were not treated, you know, right? And so the only way to get out of a bad marriage or abusive one is either if they die. So a lot of the women would take it into their own hands and poison them so that they can die and they can be free of that abusive relationship, which is honestly so sad that that was the only way to get out of an abusive relationship. And then like they would be punished for it if they were caught. But I'm just like, I don't know, it sucks back then. But this kind of reminds me of that because it takes place, it was like dual timeline, but one of them is back in, I probably want to say 1980, the 1800s, I'm not sure. But it's with this apothecary and the owner, and she basically does that. She basically like sells these poisons to people like secretly. And then it follows modern day person where like a writer or a journalist or something, and she finds something that like leads back to that story, whatever, I don't know, but they two different timelines and then they like intersect somehow, and it just sounds really good. And when I heard like apothecary and poisonous, I started thinking of aqua tofana. Sounds so good. This was an add-on. This wasn't one of my picks for a month. This was an add-on. This is The Heiress Gets a Duke by Harper St. George. This one was, this cover first of all is what also first drew me in. I love it. It's so gorgeous. But I also kind of wanted more like historical romance because I have read a few and I really enjoyed them. And this one was so good. So basically, follows this main character who's an heiress to like this yeah, like the company, I can't talk. Her family company is like in ironworks, or like, you know, the iron stuff back in like the old days. Victorian timeline. And then like, yeah, she's the heiress to this and she wants to be able to like help out in the family business, but because she's a woman, she can't really do that. And but she's different. She kind of like does still kind of help out with it as much as she can without actually like fully working there. And then when there's this duke in London, because they're American, but then they go to London for something. There's this duke there that needs to get married because like he's been having the father passed away, so now he's the duke of the estate, but the father had left the estate in such a bad financial situation that they literally have no money, so they need to he needs to marry someone who has money to fix their problems. Like, it's not just for him, it's for his people that live on that land and everything. And so the main character, she has a younger sister, and she's the little bit more like better looking one in society. And so the duke starts looking at her sister as the one that he should marry because she's also an heiress. She comes from money. But the older sister, she doesn't want her to be forced into this marriage. And then they kind of meet before all of that, like secretly, like not secretly, but they don't know it's each other. And it's just so fun with the banter and how like their chemistry, and it's just so good. And he's like, no, I don't want to marry her sister, I want to marry her. And then she's all like, wait a minute, even though she has this attraction, she's like, wait a minute, I don't want to be pressured into a marriage. So it just like builds up from there, and it's so good. The next one, which again I've been wanting more like this and I finally got it, and that is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. But this was like a cozy mystery, murder mystery, whodunit, you know. I don't need to say more than that. I loved it. The main character, she comes back to help out her aunt's restaurant, and she runs into her high school boyfriend, and he like is different now. He's like a food critic, but he's like really mean, and he's been attacking her family's restaurant for so long. And like this one time he comes in with his stepdad who owns like the buildings and everything, and she's like because they had like this banter because they don't like each other anymore because of the way he is. He's like a real jerk and everything. And then he's there eating and he's like complaining and everything, and they're getting in this fight and all, and then all of a sudden he drops dead. So that looks bad on her. People are thinking, oh, she poisoned him, but like, what the heck? Oh no, she didn't. So she's trying to go and find out what really happened, who really did it, so that she can clear her name too and find out who really did it. It was really good. I really liked it, and I believe this is part of a series, so I can't wait to continue. The next book is The Project by Courtney Summers. This is the author who wrote Sadie, which I think I didn't finish reading. I think I started and I kind of DNF'd it because it was okay. I'm not saying it was bad. It's just I just couldn't really get into it. But the story, like what it was written about, was such a dark topic, and so I'm not saying that was bad aspect because it was like talked about something so like important to talk about too. But this one sounds interesting. It's like I've heard kind of bad things about this also, so that's why I haven't read it yet. But it's like something about like an occult, about like a cult. And like the main character's sister is in it, and she's trying to like go and save her and everything, and other stuff happens, and so I'm all like, is this like gonna be like another Manson thing? I'm just kidding. But because I don't really believe that was like a cult, but like whatever. This is the exclusive edition. The red cover was black, I believe, the regular cover, but I've kind of heard some mixed reviews about it. Mel from Mel Reads, she read it and she didn't really enjoy it as much. So I don't know how to feel about that, but hopefully I might like it. I don't know, we'll see. Next, I have another series to talk about, and that is this series. I love this series so much. First book in this series is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. The European Travel for the Monstrous Gentlewoman. This one's a chunker. And then the last one is The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodora Goss again. Again, I've talked about this series so much. One of my favorites. I'm not going to go into too much depth because I can never do it justice. Like, there's so much to it. If you are interested in this, you should just kind of look it up for yourself or just go into it. Also, too, the writing style is very unique, and I've talked about that too. It's like you can see the characters write, because it's like this is the book that they are writing, so you can see them writing it, like, and they're in the middle of writing it about their journey, about what happened, and in the middle of this they're like making it like notes or like jumping in and be like, hey, we didn't do that, or like, hey, we didn't say that, whatever, you know. It's really funny. I love the banter. I love this found family aspect. I love it all. The gothicness of it, I don't do it justice, but you should totally check it out. Sorry, I keep on getting texts. Hopefully my phone will stop buzzing. For right now, I'll text them back in a little bit. I'm almost done here, thankfully. Next, I got series Moonlight by Jen Bennett. I love, this is the paperback cover. I really love this. I love like the illustrated things. This color is, I love purple, but like any shades of purple. This is like a lavender. I saw it, I was like, I have to have that. Like, I don't want the hardcover edition. I want this one because this is so pretty. I think I have tried to read this before, but then like I wasn't in the mood for it, so I just put it down. But I don't think I own the book. I think I was trying to listen to the audiobook, but now I own it, so I can read it too. But this cover, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So hopefully I like this because the cover is gorgeous. Okay. Sorry, my camera stopped because the card was full. But anyway, next is Fight for Her by Liz Plum. I don't know. This one is a Wattpad book. I did read this on Wattpad when it was like first being released on there, but it's been so long since I've read it, and when I saw that it was being published, I wanted to get it. I get a lot of the Wattpad books that I read on Wattpad that are being published because things change when it's being published and everything. But I haven't read this one in so long, so I did kind of forget some stuff that happened. So it was kind of new, but also still I remembered some, but not a lot. So this is pretty good, but I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it on Wattpad, and I enjoyed it here. There's not much more to say to that. So I have another romance here, and that is Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson. This one I read, I didn't really like. Like, I think I give it a 3-star, but like, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought I was gonna like it a little bit more. But there's just stuff to it that was either annoying or I wish they kind of done it a little differently, or just like I don't really like. So it follows these four brothers who I guess are not really related except for two of them, I think. But they were adopted by Mama Joy, who owns this knitting store, and she's kind of like, you know, that's why she's called Mama Joy, because she's kind of like everyone's mom in a way, where everyone's welcome to get there, and she treats everyone like it's her own kids and everything. She's so, like, you know, just like that type of person. And there's also a part-time shop employee, Carrie Fuller, who always worked at the shop, grew up with the boys, and like Mama Joy was kind of like a second mom to her, because like her mom wasn't like that involved really, so she really like fell on to Mama Joy a lot, and she was always there. Mama Joy kind of helped her with things. She helped out in the store a lot and everything. And then it starts off with Mama Joy has passed away, so the brothers have come together to kind of figure out what they're gonna do with the shop. One of the brother, I believe Jesse Strong, he is kind of like that brother who's kind of like the playboy brother who goes from job to job, doesn't have like a stable thing, whatever, is really unreliable. And then yeah, he wants to take on the shop, he wants to keep the shop open and everything. The brothers are like, no, like, we don't trust you, or like, you sure you have never stuck to anything in your life? And there's also then Carrie's like, well, I can help him get it all set up and everything, and there's a romance with that. But I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. We're down to the last three, so I'm just gonna quickly go through them because I don't want my card to like stop again. I don't know when it will. The first one is Forever Wild by Kay Tucker. This is a novella for The Simple Wild, and I forgot the second one, but for Kala and Jonah's story, this is just a novella, which I really loved, but I do wish like maybe it should have been like a little bit longer, because I felt like throughout like the beginning and middle it was really like spread out and really like a lot of stuff happening, but then at the end it was just rushed because they like spread out the beginning and then the rest was just rushed, and I was like, didn't really like that. So, but the story overall, I still love. I love Kala and Jonah so much that I would read anything from them. The next was Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I will be talking about this in my wrap-up, April wrap-up. Hopefully, I will get that done soon. Might be after this. But yeah, it was so good. It was like letters from Dracula's bride, Constanta, about like, and then it was also a good like kind of talking about toxic relationships in a way, and it was just such a good story. I really loved it. The way it was written, it was beautifully written. I did read an excerpt of this in my wrap-up, so hopefully that will be out next and you can listen to my thoughts on it there. My books just fell. Wonderful. The next and last book is Heartstopper Volume 2. I don't need to say too much about this. This is a very cute, beautiful graphic novel between these two boys. I believe Nick and Charlie. So Charlie is openly out. Like everyone knows that he's gay, even though it didn't come out the best ways that he wanted it to. But it came out, everyone knows he's gay. And then he has this friendship with Nick. I hope I'm not getting the names mixed up. But who is, everyone sees him as straight, like that's how he is. But then their friendship, he starts like kind of questioning things, and he's like starting to feel things for Charlie. And he's all like, what does this mean? Like he's starting to think like maybe he is gay also. And there's just this really beautiful relationship coming out of it, and him trying to learn his own sexuality and just trying to figure things out and everything, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I need to get the third because the fourth is coming out at the end of this year, so want to continue with this. So cute. I love the art style too by Alice Oseman. Like, yes, so pretty. That is all I have for you today for this book haul. My first book haul of 2021. This was probably like a lot, but for over 4 months it's not bad. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this. If you have read any of these books, comment it down below. I would love to talk with y'all. I hope you like this video. Please give it a like and subscribe and comment down below, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.